All right, so you're learning how to write your own functions. And so throughout this lesson, what we're going to do is our knowledge checks are going to build on one another. We're going to start out with a very simple function, and then we're going to turn it into kind of what looks like a more mature, robust function that you would likely see in kind of production code. So let's start very simple. First, we want to define a function titled ratio that takes arguments x and y and returns their ratio, which is just x divided by y. So we are not getting too complicated here. So we define a function by using the def for define keyword. Right? So we're going to define a function that's titled ratio, and then we're going to do something within ratio. All right, so the arguments that we're going to start with, or the first two arguments that we want our function to take, is x and y. So we're going to go ahead and add an x and y parameter. And then what our function is actually going to do is it's going to compute the ratio. So I'm just going to go ahead and say the result of our function is going to be x divided by y. Now, if I just do this, our function actually isn't going to return anything. We need to state that we want our function to return. If I don't state I want it to return anything, it will actually return none. But what we want is we actually want to return our result here. Okay? So I can go ahead and run that, and now let me go ahead and apply ratio 1. So I could say x equals and y equals, and we see our ratio ends up being what we expect. Now let's go ahead and do 10, and we get what we expect. All right, so we have this function. Now the second part of this knowledge check says let's add a third variable called digits, and this is going to allow us to round the output to a specified decimal. Okay, so what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and add digits, and what I want to do is actually round our result. Okay, so I could do this a couple different ways. I could add another step in our function, which is fine. Let's go ahead and do that. Rounded result. So this just equals result, but what I want to do is I actually want to round. So this is a internal function or a standard built-in function provided by Python, where we can round our result, or some number, to some specified number of digits. Right? So now I got to change what I'm returning, because I actually want to return the rounded result. Right? So if I go ahead, run that. Now if I rerun this code, you're going to see I actually get an error because it says missing one of the required arguments. So I have to pass something for digits. So let's go ahead. We can just do digits equals, let's do 3. Now we see our output gets rounded to 3 decimals. I could do this to just 1, and I get what I expect.